What's up, everybody? On today's Unbiased Hard Take, we're going to predict round one of the NBA playoffs, and I'm going to go down the line here, predict who wins the series and in how many games. So, of course, we know the play-in wrapped up. We did the Heat get into the play-in first, 10 seed, 9-10 seed to make it into the playoffs from the play-in in the play-in era. So more history for Heat basketball, and we have a chance to compete for championship. That's all you can ask for. So, we're actually going to start with the Thunder Grizzlies. Because the Grizzlies, speaking of playing, won last night. I said that I already predicted that I had a hard time believing that the Grizzlies, with a winning record, were going to lose to the Mavericks, who had a kind of a clown show of a season. And the Grizzlies had a winning record. And Ja Morant, he played very good. I flat out said that I had a hard time when I did the play-in video. Had a hard time thinking that the Grizzlies were not going to make it in the playoffs because of Ja. And he ended up getting that injection in his knee. But he did give sort of a upsetting update. When he flat out said, quote, I couldn't feel it, quote. That's why I was out there. Morant scolded Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter after they won. And we want to mind you that he's getting injections, he can't feel it. Morant said they're right where they want to be, the underdog. So, I mean, they made the playoffs. Memphis also went 0-4 against the Thunder in the season, losing each matchup by double digits. I actually think Memphis gets swept in this series. I have questions about Ja's health. If Ja was healthy, wasn't getting injections, has 100%, he'll probably play and tough it out and be a warrior, be a leader. But if he was 100%, maybe they get one game against OKC. But OKC, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's looking like an MVP player. I mean, you got a whole roster, Chet Holmgren, a whole roster of players there in OKC, Williams. So, I mean, I think Thunder sweep Memphis there. So, give me 4-0 Thunder. Then we have Nuggets-Clippers, and this was a very good game. As of this recording right now, that game just ended of Game 1, and the Nuggets took a 1-0 lead in that series. And I think this will actually be, I'm going to take Nuggets in 6. This will be a good series. I think Clippers will get a couple games. I mean, the Clippers played good ball today, blew a double-digit lead today. But ultimately, it was situational basketball. The Nuggets have a championship pedigree with Murray and obviously the Joker. And Aaron Gordon as well. So championship team there. I know they fired Malone, which makes absolutely no sense. That's an abysmal and an embarrassing thing. And they'll ultimately fall later in the rounds, in my opinion, because of that, as competition gets harder in round 2 and 4, 3, and beyond. Eventually they'll lose, I believe. So I think the Nuggets win this series because the Clippers will do what the Clippers do. James Harden made some boneheaded plays. And there's a lot of situational basketball. James Harden made multiple great plays too, but situational basketball late in the game and overtime, the Clippers have always just found a way to blow it. And they always have and always will. It's just the way the Clippers seem to be. I don't understand it. And I think they'll get a couple wins because of Harden and Kawhi. They both made plays today. But situationally, I trust the Nuggets a lot more. So Nuggets in 6 on that one. And then to continue out west, we're going to go Lakers, Timberwolves, and this is going to be a great series, I think. That tips off in a couple hours as of this. So I think the Lakers win this in 7. Anthony Edwards, Irvin Magic Johnson tweeted about it that he believes that Edwards is the problem. He absolutely is. The Timberwolves are a very good team, but ever since Luka got traded to Dallas, and of course, since Luka got traded from Dallas to LA, the Lakers have been absolutely awesome. And LeBron's playing good basketball at this stage in his career also. I think the Lakers will be a contender in the Western Conference Finals. And I think the Timberwolves could win this series, but ultimately championship pedigree with LeBron. Luka's been to the finals. Hasn't won one, but still has been farther than anyone on the Timberwolves have. So give me the Lakers in 7. Ultimately, LeBron's championship pedigree gets him into Game 7, I believe. And then the Rockets-Warriors. The Warriors are actually favored in this series I've seen, and I'm not really surprised. They've played much better since they traded for Jimmy Butler. And, of course, championship pedigree doesn't matter here. So I'm actually still going to take, though, the Rockets to win this series. The Rockets have been the better team all season long. They're the 2 seed. How many times do you see a 2 seed being an underdog to a 7 seed? It's because the Rockets are young, aren't as star-studded. They don't have Steph Curry. It's a name. Jimmy Butler, it's a name. It's a big brand thing. I get it. I really do. But ultimately, the Rockets have a better rotation. The Rockets have a way better rotation than the Warriors do. The Warriors still have rotation issues. You'd think you'd have that situated right now. I mean, Kuminga doesn't even play anymore. Steve Kerr had to address it. So I think ultimately the Rockets are just a better team. And while it might not be as sexy as the Warriors, I think the Rockets win this in 7. Give me Game 7 with the Rockets. I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State wins this. Like I said, the championship pedigree doesn't matter. But give me the Rockets. This has been the more consistent team all season long. I mean, even the Warriors struggled with the rotation. So I think that's ultimately going to hurt them in the playoffs. So give me Rockets in 7. Then we'll move over to the Eastern Conference, where the Celtics play the Magic. And a lot of these series you're going to see as 4-0, 4-1, a couple of these. And I think this will be one of them. Magic are a good team. Paolo Banchero, I think they'll make Boston sweat it a little bit, but I think they'll probably steal a game. So I think ultimately those Celtics are the defending champions, one of the best teams all season long. Definition of consistent with Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, all them boys, and White, Derek White. So give me the Celtics in 5. I think the Magic will steal a game. They're a very good team, but Celtics in 5. Then currently going to a game that's close right now as of this time is Knicks, and Pistons. And the Pistons, it's good to kind of see them playing good basketball right now. They were a clown show. Me and JB had to talk about their losing streaks at points over the last couple seasons. So to see them clinch a playoff spot with even having to go through the play-in, which Miami and Golden State both had to do, the Pistons did not. But the Knicks were my pick to win the finals before when the season started. JB had, I believe, also the Knicks, but he had them losing. Yeah, he had the Knicks also. So that's the unbiased hard takes pick to win the NBA Finals was the Knicks. It definitely was mine. I believe it was JB's as well. So that was my pick to win the Finals. And I'm going to stick to them, that winning the series here. Jalen Brunson has playoff experience, and the Pistons are still a young team, up and coming. They have a good future ahead of them. Good to see them in the playoffs. Maybe they'll shock some people. But I think the Knicks win this in 6. Again, Pistons will fight. They're a good team. They're an underrated team. But the Knicks are my pick to win the Finals, and I'm sticking to it. So then we have Pacers and Bucks. And Pacers lit the Bucks up today. Dame Lillard's still out with blood clots, hopefully. I mean, that ended Chris Bosh's career for us Heat fans. We all know that very well. Hall of Fame player, one of the best of all time. So we all know what that can do to someone's career. Will he ever play again is really a question at this point. And Giannis, he's great, yeah. But they're an older team. They haven't been as good as they have been in the past. Will Giannis want out of there if they lose this series? I think they do lose this series. They're down 1-0. They don't have home court advantage. I mean, Indiana is really one of the most underrated teams in the league. I would say the most underrated team in the league. Because, I mean, last year they were a series away from the finals. Got all the way down to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So I think, ultimately, when it comes down to it, Pacers win this series in 6. They have a deeper roster, a deeper bench than Milwaukee does. Milwaukee does have Giannis, but Damian Lillard is not playing. If Lillard was playing, we might be looking at a different story here. But give me Pacers in 6. I believe it's in 6 there. So Pacers are the better team. They'll move on to round 2. And the time we've all been waiting for is Cavaliers versus the Miami Heat, baby. Made the playoffs again. Heat culture. That's how you make the playoffs, is Heat culture. No other team could have went through what we went through, losing their best player, all that drama, suspensions, all that stuff. No one could have done what we did and make the playoffs. And we are here, baby. And a chance to fight. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, I don't think Miami, white hot Heat, playoff time, baby, will. I don't think it's going to. They are good enough realistically to beat the Cavaliers. But we all know if any 8 seed can do it, it is Miami. They've done it before and they can do it again. But ultimately, I think Cleveland wins this in 5 games. I don't think it's a sweep. Heat culture doesn't matter. Jimmy Butler is wrong about that. But ultimately, I think Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat go out in the first round both. And this has been truly. The Heat, I think, even losing in round 1 like I'm predicting would be a success this year. We need to go out and get a massive free agent or a big trade, something that's kind of a weaker free agent class as well this season. But a bigger trade, maybe some of these players like Ja or Giannis lose in round 1, or again KD and Phoenix, they're going to be frustrated, things of that nature. So the Heat need a big free agent move, things I like that. So I think ultimately the Heat will lose this series, but they'll steal a game. They're not going to get swept. Heat culture matters. But ultimately, here's the reality, though. They're the only team in the playoffs this year with a losing record. I mean, yeah, they're the first team of all time to make the playoffs from the play-in as a 9-10 seed. That's cool, great history, great. One of the first 8 seeds to ever make the finals, too. I mean, but ultimately, it's just not their year. Tyler Hero's been great. Bam's been great. Led us to the playoffs. Really great. Keep us relevant. It's great to see us be able to compete for championship. And that's just great coaching by Spoelstra. But Cleveland is just a different type of beast. And I think Miami has definitely peaked even making the playoffs this year at all. So again, that's all I got. What do you think of my predictions in round 1? Let me know what you guys think. Who will win in round 1? I got more basketball to go watch. It's a great time for that. So that's all I got. Like, subscribe, hit the bell on Facebook. Check out the Sports Fact today. All that will be in the description down below. Go check out JB's content. A lot of golf content will be coming from him, and a lot more stuff. I'm going to talk about maybe some NFL draft coverage this week. Just a little heads up there, possibly. So again, that's all I got. Check out JB's Golf Masters video. He can put out some great content as well. So until next time, go Pat, go. Boiler up. Most importantly, this time of year, let's go Heat, baby. Let's just do our best and maybe pull off the upset of the century. We've done it before. We'll see y'all next time.